So Anfernee Simons has been losing his mind lately. The dude is pretty much putting on a Steph Curry impression, as he is continuing to kill defenses with an array of step backs and pull-ups. According to NBA.com, Simons averages about 5 pull-ups / step backs a game. It wasn't even a joke when I said he was on a Steph Curry impersonation. In his last 15 games, he's shooting 41% from outside on 10 a game. In some ways, it's less of a Steph Curry impersonation and more of a James Harden one. His step back, sidestep, whatever you want to call it, creates a whole lot of space, man. Defenders think they got him, and before they know it, they've got to lunge an extra foot. It seems like he's almost dancing out there sometimes with the way he can shuffle his feet right into the shot. They say Steph Curry broke the NBA. We sure James Harden didn't break the NBA when he showed everybody that you can do this? Although I don't think he's leaned into the step back as much as Harden has just yet. The other thing is the pull-up jumper. If the big isn't all the way up on the screen, it seems like Simons is shooting it every single time. It's a bit of a mixed bag with how aggressively bigs play Simons on these screens right now. Sometimes they come out at him super hard, other times they stay back a little more. If he really is this level of a shooter, that's the type of thing that can just break a defense. The next question I have is, how much are we going to see Simons leaning into being an off-ball guy with this shot? Specifically in the half court, I should add. I think in transition he's already looking alright. He certainly has his preference for how he likes to get his threes off, but I do think there is potential for him to do more off ball. I don't think it's an urgent thing right now, as the guy is having his coming out party. Also, here's some more evidence of maybe big guys are just not in the like, oh crap, treat this guy like Steph Curry thing right now. And you get one more here. He starts from the baseline, and also notice Mitchell Robinson just doesn't step up at all. In contrast, here Taj Gibson is much higher on the screen. With all that said, I do still have to be realistic. He has had some games where the three has not fallen, with the worst one being when he went 2 for 12 from outside against OKC. And actually, before he went scorched earth in his last 4 games, he did have a 4 of 5 game stretch where it wasn't the best. Basically, he's not perfect, and that's fine, especially because it's still so early in his career. As for Simons' playmaking, through this run, he's averaging about 5 assists a game. I'm not sure we're ever going to consider him as one of the better passers in the league, but I think that's okay. My question with his passing is mainly, when will bigs really start to get terrified of him around screens, which could open up things for other guys? Once we get within the three-point line, Simons' shot selection becomes a lot more balanced between mid-rangers and attempts at the rim. This is the other thing about if big guys really start to get scared and step up on screens. It could open up more driving lanes for him. Simons is shooting about 45% from mid-range on the season and actually about 50% from in the paint but not in the restricted area. He's of course not the biggest dude in the world, so I don't know how often he's really going to embrace drawing contact like that. So these types of shots will still matter. They're not going to be the most noticeable thing compared to the threes, but if he can keep up with shooting nearly 50% on floaters pretty much, then that's great. As for Simons finishing at the rim, he's shooting below 60% in the restricted area, which is not ideal. You would prefer for that to be at least a little higher. I think he's got the speed and shiftiness to get there. The question, again, is can he just handle contact like that around the rim? I don't want to imply that he's a bad finisher. He's at like 57, 58%. It's okay. He still has moments where he shows the glimpses of someone who can draw a lot of fouls. And again, he's got the craftiness to get downhill, so perhaps he could build on this. But will he do this game after game, possession after possession against a tough defense? I don't know, man. But again, the main thing is the three. He is showing early signs that he really could be one of the best shooters in the league. And I start to think about him and Damian Lillard if Dame is going to want to stay. Everything suggests he does. It would be one of the best shooting backcourts, no doubt. Defensively, well, that's a different conversation. But also, if Dame decides he doesn't want to stay, Simons is a pretty good start to a rebuild.